What if all sports balls weighed 10 pounds?
So we said that all the balls are 10 pounds, but they stay the same size and shape. So they look exactly the same.
They're just much
they just weigh
denser,
10 pounds.
generally. Yeah.
And they have all like the same properties and stuff. So like if a ball is bouncy, then it's still bouncy.
I chose baseball, and it turns out you can go pretty deep on baseball. So to start. So a baseball weighs somewhere between 5 and 5.25 ounces. So the 10-pound ball is like 30 times heavier, which is obviously going to change a lot of things about the sport. So to start, pitching. Much like Chris, I wound up looking at shot put because the distance from the pitcher's mound to home plate is like just over 60 feet. So you're not going to be able to pitch it normally. That's just not going to work. But, as Chris mentioned, the shot put, like the men's shot put is 16 pounds. So the ball is actually going to be even lighter than that. And the record, like I said, is about 75 feet. So you can definitely get it from the pitcher's mound to home plate shot put style.
Probably be pretty easy to hit.
So that's what I was wondering, because you can't really do like different pitches anymore.
Yeah.
Because pitches rely on, spin. And I don't think you can spin a 10-pound ball very well while throwing it.
Or if you do, if it'll make any difference.
Right, exactly, yeah. But what
all those pitches are now sinkers.
So what I think you can, pretty much, yeah. What I think you can do, though, is I think that between the fact that you already have some, like, distance leeway, and you also, because the ball is lighter, I think you can vary basically the angle, like, that you release it at to either have it be more straightforward or more of an arc, and that's kind of how you're going to have, like, different pitches to make it tricky. It'll still be probably easier to hit, but I don't think it'll be super easy, particularly because
it's probably not going to be going that fast.
Well, but here is the thing though, and this is what we're going to get to next, is now you do have a 10-pound object you're trying to redirect with a bat, which is tricky. So the first thing I looked at was just how much force can a player put on a baseball like now. So conveniently, Major League Baseball actually does a bunch of like way too much like data tracking, which is super awesome if you love data like me.
You don't say. Baseball going overload on statistics.
I know, right? So one of the things they track now is they track basically the exit velocity of like every hit. So when the player makes contact, what speed, what velocity is the ball leaving the bat at? So the hardest.
Why would they ever need that information?
Because it's cool. I mean, like, okay, legitimately, you can do some cool stuff where you look at, like, the angle the ball leaves and the velocity it leaves and map out what should have happened based on, like, historically how that, how that has worked out.
Or, like, a grade school physics problem.
Also that. Or this podcast. So, on August 9th of 2018, Giancarlo Stanton of the New York Yankees hit a ball with an exit velocity of 121.7 miles per hour. That was the hardest hit ball of the season. Fun fact also, Giancarlo Stanton, of the 10 hardest hit balls this year, Stanton had 8 of them. He is a beefy boy, and he hits balls very hard. So that
everyone's
ball,
gotta have their thing.
That ball went 449 feet. The pitch was thrown at 91.9 miles per hour. So because we have... The distance doesn't really matter. That was just for fun. It just went very far. That's cool. But because we have both the velocities... we can actually figure out how much force he put on the baseball. Because you can basically, the average force is going to be the mass times the final velocity minus the mass times the initial velocity, all divided by the duration of like impact. So the contact time on a baseball hit it varies, but it's around 0.7 milliseconds. So use that equation, it works out to about like 19,500 newtons, which is about 4,400 pounds of force. That's the average force. It's actually, the peak is going to be higher than that because it's kind of like a sine wave, the force on the ball. So the actual like peak force is going to be about 4.5 tons. And that's with our regular ball. That's just like actual, real baseball right there. So that's crazy.
Do you know how much a normal baseball weighs?
About 5 ounces. About 5 ounces. Yeah. Yeah, which that was part of that equation as well. Yeah.
Okay.
But because we have that force, we can use that same force to figure out the acceleration on the ball if the ball is 10 pounds. And that, just using good old F equals ma, you get like 980 meters per second squared. So if you have the same contact time of 0.0007 seconds, your exit velocity is 0.686 meters per second or 1.53 miles per hour, which is not very fast. But hold on, we can fix this. Because we've made an assumption that I think is wrong, which is that I don't think the contact time is that amount of time anymore because the ball has so much more momentum.
Right.
So what I did, and I know this is almost assuredly 100% wrong, but I needed something to use, and we're so far into an arbitrary tale right now that I don't care about like the accurate way to do this. It's 30-ish times heavier, so I say it's in contact for about that much times longer. So about 0.021 seconds. So probably wrong, but we needed something arbitrary, and that's as good as anything else. So if you do that, you wind up with 20.57 meters per second or 46 miles per hour, which is baseball adjacent, which I will accept.
Your math is so wrong.
I am aware of this. There's also even one more issue that I'm glossing over entirely, which is this is all assuming just a modern day wooden baseball bat, which would 100% disintegrate on contact.
Along with modern day baseball arms. And baseball bones.
Yep.
And baseball, everything.
We're ignoring the catcher in the situation too, because, yep. But yeah, so yes, the ball would the bat would 100% just disintegrate. So you would need a different bat. It would be made of something much stronger. I think you could actually make it work. I think.
So you haven't changed batting at all. You just said batting works.
Batting. So it's going to be, you're going to be swinging much more slowly because the bat's going to be heavier.
Okay.
But the ball is also going to be moving more slowly. So I think it works out to about the same, relative,
Hey, let's make baseball slower.
Pretty much. Well, so there is, so we worked out pitching and hitting, but then we get to fielding. Fielding is tricky. So here's the problem is that's the strongest you could the hardest you could possibly hit the ball. So it's probably not getting too far out of the infield in that situation. And the ball is not really going to roll anymore because it's just going to slam into the ground and it weighs 10 pounds. It's just going to make a huge divot and be in the ground now. So I figure you don't really have outfielders anymore because you just don't need them. They're going to be too far away to do literally anything ever. So I figure you basically have the normal baseman you have now plus two more infielders just kind of in the middle of the infield.
Inner infielders,
exactly. Also, the ball could totally kill someone, so sort of stay out of its way until it's the ground. I don't think you can catch the ball anymore. I think it would just destroy you. So I think you no longer catch the ball to get an out, really. I guess you could technically try to, but don't. Let it hit the ground, and then what you have to do it's just make a chain of players to pass the ball between to get it to the base before the guy gets there. So I think baseball becomes all the
players would run towards the ball and form a line.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's you plan out what your strategy is depending on where the ball goes, and then on hit, everyone runs to where they have to, and you just try to get it over there.
So the new pro baseball players are going to be the high school band members who learn to walk in formation?
Partially. Well, there is one other slight change to the modern baseball player in the 10-pound baseball world, which is that, so let's talk about pitchers again really quickly. So, we're sort of saying you're going to be, an elite shot putter if you're a pitcher. Pitchers weigh around 200 pounds. Just what baseball players in general weigh around 200 pounds. They're relatively normal shaped for athletes. Elite shot putters weigh from 260 to 300 pounds. And we're also assuming you're going to have some sort of crazy giant wrought iron bat. So the position players got to be a little bulkier too. So basically what this sport is a bunch of 280 pound dudes all running around in formations and trying to throw a very heavy thing to each other. So I think it would actually still be a pretty entertaining sport and kind of still baseball almost.
It feels like a very German muscle men sport now.
It feels very much like a German muscle men sport.
The phrase "hop Hoop.
Yeah.
hoop.
Yeah, I was
Comes
doing
to
the same
mind.
thing in my head.
Yeah, this is very much what it is. It's just a bunch of like very beefy guys, like hitting a ball about 12 feet, and then everyone else running around and trying to like move it about 50 feet by hand before he can run 60 feet or whatever.
I'd watch it.
I would watch it. It sounds fun.